Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm Ian.
I'm Ian Carlos Crawford.
And I'm Alastair Justin Patton Garcia. And this is episode 21 of season 4 of Angel. Peace out.
All right. So, Ian, I think you've only been on for what, one or two this season?
Yeah, we whatever the one is right before Orpheus, which is I think its official name is the one before Orpheus.
Yeah. I think
There's
so.
the one before the body, the one before Hush, the one before Orpheus is the last time I was on.
I was wondering, and I mean, I already asked you, but what is your take on the Jasmine arc?
Well, it might be because season 4 is so bad that and inconsistent. Season 4 is the you know what? Never mind. Season. There's literally there's one retcon that is the famous retcon, but tracking the themes and arc throughout the whole season, there's actually a couple of pivots that just like, you know what? Never mind. We're going to try something different. And I think maybe because of that, I really enjoy the Jasmine arc. Angel's weird because there's split seasons every season. There's a mini arc in the back half of the season. So I don't even really think of this as season 4. It doesn't carry the same yuck from everything else that was going on in season 4. And I enjoy it. It's heavy-handed, but it's fun.
All right. Alistair?
I honestly love Jasmine. You know, not thinking about where she came from or anything like that. I love Jasmine in kind of the same way I liked Nathan Fillion in Buffy. I think she brings a different little substance to the show. That's totally hers. But this was very abrupt, I think, in the Jasmine arc of it all to just come back into, where I was like, okay, wait, where are we in the story?
Yeah.
And I had to kind of readjust myself to where we're at.
Yeah,
in the
me
story
too.
And go forward. Yeah.
Season 4 is such a mush, and I know they really wanted to go dark, and the whole point of season 4 is, I mean, the whole point of Angel in comparison to Buffy is like we can do dark adult stories, but every time Mutant Enemy does that, I don't think it works. I think
I
like
agree.
their wheelhouse is contrast, is bright, is sunny, and
Yes.
to balance the dark. You know, the mayor is a cute, sweet, hypochondriac fuddy-duddy that wants to turn into a giant snake and destroy the world, right? Like there's always that balance of comedy and drama, and season 4 lost it. But when you see Gina Torres, it's like a bright light shining in the room. You know, both Jasmine and Gina make you want to sing. And
Yeah.
I think like that course correction carries into season 5, where they learn the lesson of going too dark in season 4, and season 5 has that balance again of we're telling dark stories. There's lots of tragedy and drama in season 5, but it has some of that lorn lightness throughout. And so I like, again, I feel like part of my reaction to the Jasmine arc is the recovery of where we went in season 4.
Okay, because I agree with everything you said about season 4, but I also think it applies to this arc. Like, I was really hoping this time around I would like it, because I did have a lot of y'all that are on that are like, no, I do really like it. And I was like, okay, maybe like deconstructing it and like discussing it will make me like it more. And man, I fucking hated it. I feel like every episode someone has said this, and yes, Gina Torres is a great actor. This was my first experience to like exposure to her when I was a teen.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated Jasmine so much that I did not like that actor for a while. I'd be like, ugh, she played like the worst character in the Buffyverse. Gina Torres is great. She's a great actor,
Sure, yeah.
but like, I hate Jasmine so much. And I think the story gets so muddled here.
That's amazing. I think it's so much cleaner than the rest of season 4. But
I mean, I'm not saying the rest. I don't want you to think I'm like, well, the rest was so great before. And for me, it just stays that way. We start this Angel episode off where we left off last episode. They're having a fight in the sewer. I did have a question for you about this, Alastair. As a military man, What is the fucking thing making the bonking noise? Like, what weapon is making that like bonk bonk that I hear?
So I'm pretty sure that's just a pipe. That's a hollow
Uh,
pipe.
Oh,
But it was annoying the crap out of me. I think Wesley was holding that pipe. What is going on? Is there something wrong with my
Because
TV
you
right now?
hear it a lot,
I,
right?
I hated it. Yes, yes.
Well, that answer. I really was like, oh, Alistair might know what weapon it was because I thought it was like someone had a weapon that made. Because yeah, it's like it sounds like someone's just like bonk 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 on like people's heads. But I mean, speaking of bad effects, they all lose their fight pretty quickly, understandably. So we cut to Angel in this cutscene from a PlayStation game dimension.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like this is like old school PlayStation game that we're in right now.
And I said this last episode, I don't understand why they made it so bright. Everything in Angel is usually dark, and then they put him in this CGI land and make it bright as shit so it looks even worse.
yeah. I believe the word is ambitious.
Yes.
Ambitious TV animation in the early 2000s that didn't work.
I just like it's so weird because so often they know their limits on this.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe this much of him and then the green screen's behind his head. But like this is a full pan out, full like we're trying to do Lord of the Rings and we're not getting.
Well, I watch it and see the prequel trilogy. It reminds me of those green screen days.
And they could have made miniatures and filmed the miniatures and probably added him into it.
Well, the one from the last episode, the puppet spider guy, was so cool.
Yeah.
So weirdly cool.
Even if you just multiplied that a couple of times, shoot it from a couple different angles and multiply it in a very dark space and just add surreal alien noises to the background, anything would have worked better, but they tried.
I always wonder with stuff like this if someone was like saw the final cut and was like, we fucking nailed it, or someone saw the final cut and was like, fuck, that's all we got, sorry.
Or if this was like scrap footage that they just added to it, and they already had him on a green screen and they're like, okay, this is all we have right now, let's just put it.
We have a day to make the background, just whip something up in PlayStation. Post credits, there's a lot of things happening at the same time in this entire arc. I tried to do a Passion of the Nerd breakdown of it, Ian. So walk with me. Angel's climbing, but also Connor brings the gang to see Jasmine. She's like, "Ooh, you caused this yourself." I do like when she says, "I only wish it was within my power to take you back." And Fred is the one that snips, "Nobody asked."
Yeah.
I feel like from here on is when I like Fred the most, because I do feel like season 5 fully gives her agency. She still is a little damselly in distress, but feels more fully realized. She's literally the boss of the department of whatever science in Wolfram Heart. And I feel like this arc, the one good thing I can say about it is I do think it helps make a little bit more sense because she was the first one to come out of it. She had to like fend for herself and plan on how to like get people back. So I like that we're seeing Fred a little bit more like able to like puff her chest and like say fuck off.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. I personally, I love the invasion of the body snatchers trope. I think I'm the only one that liked bad eggs. I like.
I don't know why people hate that episode. It's like
unironically love that episode. And if anything, I think a lot of these Angel mini arcs, the Pylea arc, for instance, there's always a dead episode where it just feels like instead of this being a 4-part miniseries, this should have been 3. The one with the kids in the last one is, to me, that episode where it's like, why?
What are we doing? Right? Like,
yeah. This could have been exposition in the previous episode. But I think that it's a fun horror trope, and the philosophical idea they're exploring kind of subverts what the original intent of the body snatchers idea was, which was like fear of communism and the Red Scare and everyone losing their identity. This is everyone gets to be happy.
Yeah.
All you have to do is be a part of the team, man. All you have to do, and then you get all the joy and none of the suffering. And I think that's a really interesting idea. And even when she last episode, even when she and Angel are talking, they're both talking about how much they miss the feeling.
Yeah.
She says, I've cried every night, not getting to feel the joy and the bliss again. And that's really fascinating. So yeah, I love this stuff, and putting Fred at the front of it. Like, she hasn't had enough arcs to develop her over the course of time. So it's nice to see.
Yeah. We learn that the bug demon the bug dimension where Angel is, we learn that was like her test run for like Utopia, right?
Well, I'm sure it wasn't a test run. It just became a test run, just like everything. You expect to bake a cake and it turns into a test cake. You know?
No, yeah. They talk about how Jasmine can now broadcast herself because she's here, and one assumes the bug demon dimension did not have broadcast television.
Broadcast capabilities.
The big reveal here that I'm curious what you all think is when Fred tells Connor, like, Cordelia's blood should have made you see what she really looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I know what she looks like. She's beautiful. And we learned that he did see the maggoty monster face.
I thought it was a little endearing in a really weird way. Because I'm like, that's in a weird way, that's his daughter, you know. But obviously, like, somebody who maybe hijacked his daughter, but like in a very weird, fucked up Connor brain way, I found it endearing.
That was not an answer I was expecting at all, and I kind of love that, Alastair. Ian,
I love it. I think it's when I think of. I think of like fingerprint moments from my favorite shows. By that I mean, when someone asks you about what are your favorite shows and you think of Buffy, there's like 5 moments from Buffy that flash into your head from whatever. Mm-hmm. That Connor moment is probably one of those moments from the show for me. And I think Connor is not a great character. Vincent Kartheiser in interviews said he hated playing him and was bored after the first 3 episodes. And I think it shows on screen. I think Connor is more of a symbol, and there's a bunch of interesting ideas around Connor that go no place. And this is actually one of my favorite moments. Season 5, Connor, just to clarify, is a different character. I'm talking about the character of Connor in season 4. And in the whole theme they're exploring here is identity and choice. Connor is a interesting contrast to everyone else because he has the freedom and the choice, and he's choosing the herd. He's making the choice. It's his chance to finally belong to something, which he hasn't been able to do. But like, that's an interesting idea, and it works within the theme of this arc. But in terms of Connor's character arc, doesn't get explored enough. It doesn't serve to actually build him into something interesting, even though it works for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I definitely don't blame the actor, because I think I like the actor a lot, and I think that we could have done a lot with the Connor character.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, I think it was handled so poorly. That we all ended up just really hating the Connor character when we could have had some serious development through season 3 to now.
He could have been a tragic character. We feel bad for, sure, on paper I feel bad for this character, but like, I'm watching, it's just miserable.
Yeah,
or that moment that we hated and learned to love, like something like that.
That moment is played for the chilling drama of it, but it doesn't really succeed in building empathy for his character the way we hoped it would.
Yeah.
I think you can get there, and I can get there with Connor in terms of he's got a horrible backstory. Of course, he's a whatever, but there's nothing to endear us, the audience, to him over the course of time, and that was really necessary.
I think I said this in probably one of the last episodes we recorded, but I think we could have used some flashbacks to him in the Hell Dimension and him going through his trauma in order for us to kind of internalize where he was at and why he's made decisions that he's made.
There's just no movement on the character. He's very static from the point he joins the show to this point, and the opportunities to Faith could have been an interesting foil to him, but they have 1 minute of screen time if he had spent any time with her, because he's kind of like the male Slayer in a weird way. Like his power comes from demons. He has similar power to them.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, anything to develop our empathy, or rather our emotional connection to him as a character. And I know, like, some people have talked to me privately and said, like, because of things that they have been through, they identify with Connor, and I get that. It's just not everyone has that emotional framework
right
to work. So, you need something else in order. So, like, I just wish that, but there are so many interesting ideas of, like, him wondering if he's a monster, him being lied to, him trying to figure out his own identity on a show that is about redemption and identity. Could have been really good. It just goes nowhere.
Yes, I agree. Like, even just laying it out like that, it's like, yes, those are all things that can lead to characters that any of the three of us could love, or like learn, like you said, Alastair, learn to love. Maybe you hate it first, but then you get their trauma and the like feelings there. But yeah, Connor, I feel like I feel like I'm going insane because I keep saying this, but Connor's scenes are all the same.
Yeah.
And like,
and even he felt that way.
yeah. And like, it makes sense that the actor was bored because they really are all the fucking same. It's just, he's trying to kill Angel. He's mad at Angel. He's not listening to anybody. He does something stupid.
Yeah.
Like, that's everything. So Angel, meanwhile, has climbed this like weird CGI hill to get to this weird temple. It feels like they're going for something here, and it just doesn't work for me because he meets the high priest. And one, I was like, why the fuck did they blow their budget on the monster in the previous episode, and now this guy's just a dude? That, like, with the spider legs looked way cooler than just like him with the face and a robe. But then we learn he is he's the guardian of the keeper of the word. And it's just like when Angel's choking him and he's like going in circles saying it, felt like we were doing a like who's on first, but
well, he was the guardian of the keep. No, he was the guardian of the word, and the word was the keeper of the name.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think
Which
it was
still confusing.
just to acknowledge this is a David Fury episode, and David typically does the lighter, more like every writer was tended to prefer writing for a particular character and a particular voice, and David's favorite character to write for was Harmony. So Real Me comes to mind, and Harmony and Arguing with Xander. I think that he was attempting to do some of that levity here. And the other thing too is this rewatch of Angel season 3 and 4 that I'm currently in, I realize how much of my reaction to the material is from the Oedipus of it all. I mean, Oedipus is just gross, and I think like they knew it was gross, and they drove there on purpose, but they also kind of missed the point of Oedipus because Cordy was not actually Cordy, and so it was broken from the beginning.
You're right. It's like someone who read the Cliff Notes of Oedipus being like, let's do that.
Yeah, it's the structure of Oedipus, but not the meaning of Oedipus, which is about truth. I've realized this time I'm getting more out of my watch of season 3 and 4 now because I'm able to kind of enjoy what was intended and the nice moments that are there. And I think my feelings about Connor just got drowned under the disgust over the Oedipus stuff and the other misfires. He's fine.
There's more.
He's fine.
He's
just not fun. It's not very fun.
No, he's not. Then we meet the keeper of the word. And the keeper is like a roided out Hellraiser looking dude. We even get the goofy, like he goes to kick Angel but misses and kicks the guardian of the keeper, and the guardian of the keeper is like stabbed onto the wall. And again, that's like one of those beats where it's like, I guess this is supposed to be funny, but like it just didn't match with what we're doing.
Yeah, the guy is there for sort of character motivation exposition. Like to me, the Angel episode 0 is Gingerbread, The Wish, and Amends. And that's where Buffy says to him, strong is fighting. Angel says to Buffy and Gingerbread, we never win, we never will. That's not why we fight. We do it because there's things worth fighting for. And so the keeper there is essentially talking to Angel, like, for the sake of the audience. What are you fighting for? Oh, you're fighting for the kid, the boy all of that. We're reaching the end of the season, so it's kind of trying to bring some of that back again. It's just a little heavy-handed.
Also, my brain has been such mush lately when you were like, that's what I consider Angel episode 0. And I was like, what episode is titled 0? What season is that in? It's like, it took me way too long.
Yeah, that trilogy in Buffy to me is the prequel that sets up all of the Angel the show's themes.
So whatever, we leave off on that dude being smushed against the wall and Angel fighting the Hellraiser dude. Now we'll go back to the hotel. Connor locks the gang in Angelus's cage in the basement. Again, he is such a fucking dipshit. He's so easily manipulated that even them just being like, where's Cordelia? And that is enough to, like, someone telling him what he already knows, that Cordelia is not there and he doesn't know where. He already knows she doesn't know where she is. So I'm like, you fucking idiot. Why does, like, them saying it out loud trick you into being like, well, no.
And they knew that was going to happen. But
oh, yeah.
It was really Jasmine. Come on, Jasmine, put him in charge of somebody else. Make him go grab some groceries right now while you're doing your thing.
It's interesting.
Have him do some pre-interviews with the people.
It's interesting. Jasmine, I think, knows that Connor sees the real her, that she doesn't have a spell over him.
I think so too.
I think it's never explicitly stated, but I think, especially when he won't give up on the idea of Cordy, she sees that she doesn't have the power over him, which I think is, again, Connor has so many interesting ideas undeveloped.
Yeah.
The idea that he's choosing this and the why of it would have been so interesting to explore, and we just don't. And the other thing too is, I wish that they hadn't made her such a tentacle people eater, because then the moral question is more interesting here. But I think they go overboard with the number of people that she eats. So it's like, okay, it's so clearly that the idea of
right, there's no moral quandary there anymore. Yeah,
not anymore. When she eats a room full of like 20 naked people, and we see tentacles coming out of her, it has lost all subtlety. Not that there was much there to begin with.
A lot of people apparently very much like tentacles.
Yeah.
So there's still a question up in the air about that,
Well, I'm not saying it's not hot. I'm just saying it might be heavy-handed. But the
heavy tentacles.
Yeah, so they don't explore Connor's choice to really dive into the piece of it all, and they make her such an easy monster that's just very clear by the end. But until then, I think it's a really interesting idea. There's an Ursula Le Guin story called The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas, and it's about an idyllic utopic city where there's art and beauty and sex, and everyone is happy, and the only cost is one suffering, tortured child. And the story is about people who in adolescence find out about that and either stay and normalize it or walk away from the city and deal with the grief. And so Fred and Angel are the people who walked away in this story, and they are grieving and sad. But like, one child versus roomfuls of people eaten every couple of days.
I was gonna say, like consistently, yeah.
Yeah, the math gets less interesting at that point. It becomes
she'll
less.
Run out of people in LA, right? Like,
but I mean, the maths, right? If there's, she said thousands of people versus billions of people, and people die like at huge rates, thousands of people. Really, the math still math, especially if everybody's happy, having sex, producing.
Alistair's already bowing to Jasmine. Alistair's ready.
I already had this conversation with Zach, and we both agreed we'd be Jasmine heads. Yeah, like, yeah,
it's good to know thyself. For sure.
Yeah. I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad at both of you.
Well, we would be happy, so
so you wouldn't care. Jasmine repels me. She is like every person I hate. I hate religion. I hate stupid woo-woo bullshit when it's not done with actual, like, just like kindness in mind. I don't mind a person who's like, I believe in energy if they're like actually being kind, but like, this is like woo-woo religious manipulative 101 bullshit speech.
So like we're talking about emotional context we bring to the episode. It sounds like you've got some stories of your own that you're bringing to this episode.
I really don't. It's like my parents were never. My dad is an atheist. Or no, my dad's an agnostic. My mom was religious because she was Puerto Rican, but like not really religious. But I just like I hate religion. Like I don't know, man. I grew up with people like my dad's family is super religious. When I came out, we couldn't tell them. Like my dad didn't care, but we couldn't tell them because like that's a sin. And like I don't know. I have consistently hated religion my entire life, and my mother used to get very mad at me when I would. She like, no, you don't, no, you don't. You were baptized, and I'd be like, yeah, I still do.
Well, I was raised religious, and figured out I was an atheist in junior high school. But we went to church. I felt I'm, a high functioning neurotic, and even at that age, I was like feeling constantly guilty because God was watching me and judging me all of the time. And my dad. I told him I was an atheist in college, and he started crying and said, "It's my fault. It's my fault. Like I never got you confirmed. I shouldn't have." I was like, it's no one's fault, Dad.
Right.
So and my mom was very new agey spiritual when I was in high school. So, but I don't have that allergy here. It's interesting. I think the religious, kind of opiate of the masses thing that they're exploring here is more heavy-handed than the ethical question, the utilitarian question of, is it worth it to trade a little for the happiness of most? But it is there for sure, and the idea of people leaving. I've heard stories of people leaving the church. For me, it was like, oh, this is just nonsense, and it fell away. But I've heard stories from friends who, grew up Jehovah's Witnesses or evangelical, and it was much more of a process for them getting out of it, more like the grief process of Fred and Angel in this one.
See, I think they need to bring back, the gowns. I think they need to bring back the jewel encrusted scepters. I think they need to bring back the huge cathedrals that are gorgeous. Let's get some more Notre Dames in here. These huge, especially like Christian just auditoriums that are just meant to be like theaters. Not doing it for me.
The Mick temples, as opposed to Mick mansions. Yeah.
Alastair, I love that, like what you were describing. Because I know what books you read, I was picturing like fantasy castles when you're like, bring back gowns and scepters.
Yes. Yeah. Let's make it cool again.
Well, it's interesting. Like I went through a period of, okay, I'm not going to celebrate Christmas, and I'm not going to celebrate this, and I'm not going to celebrate that, as sort of like the processing my exit and rebellion to all of it. And I think that I came to grips with like why we as human beings crave ritual and ceremony and artifice, and that there's value to it, community value to it. Not necessarily, I'm not saying specifically to church and religion, but to ritual, and all of that. So I actually don't disagree with you.
Well, it's also like when you consider that Christmas is a repackaged Yule,
Right. Yeah. So it's a pagan holiday anyway.
It's a pagan holiday. And so you can just, you can have rituals without, and add meaning to it, family, that's a time to come together, during the colder days of the year, but also not necessarily be religious.
Yeah, without the dog.
Bring back the rituals, bring back all the nice stuff,
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Yeah. And I think that's what, Jasmine came off as a politician / I've been trying to think about it. Those people who, a mega church person too, at the same time.
Yes. 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 So wait, I need to say this right now just because it kept popping in and I kept forgetting because my brain is mush today. Ian, have you seen the movie The Heretic?
No, not yet. I struggle with horror, funny enough.
I think, but it's like barely. Alastair, you saw it, right?
I probably did. I'd have to look
the Hugh Grant Mormon one. It's like
I did see it with the puzzles.
Yeah. So it's like the horror is very like light. It's very light horror, but
more thriller than horror.
Yeah, it's more like just like psychological questions. It's two Mormon girls that are kidnapped, and he's like trying to make them question religion, right?
Yeah.
And that has, and I think you would at least appreciate her monologue. It made me cry. And you just heard me talk about how much I hate religion. And she like the guy's giving her these like pretty like factually the percentage of people that pray and make it through the thing they're praying for is like null. And the girl gave like such a sweet speech where I could see what you're talking about with ritual, because she actually kind of frames it that way, where she's like, I know that it might not work. She's like, that's not why people do it. It's just nice to think people care enough about each other to do this thing to show that they care about someone, and like delivers it way better and wordier and more verbose. But like,
I was moved.
Just like that framing of it, kind of like what you're saying, like the ritual of it.
I mean, there's an underlying existential theme to both of these shows anyway, right? Like, we never win, we never will. That's not why we fight. We do it because there's things worth fighting for. Is a existential thesis that that the universe is dark and eventually we all die, but meaning is kindled in the moment by the actions we take right now. The universe being what it is a terrifying thing. That's the nature of the term existential dread, and I don't fault anyone for wanting comfort and however you find peace, as long as it doesn't infringe on anyone else.
Or is the ritual of the angel folks fighting this hopeless battle, even though they're doing it together, more than when they finally possibly achieve world peace? You know what? I prefer it being hopeless because I'm used to it than having a concrete answer.
All right.
So I don't know that I agree with that, but I see the idea of like the devil versus for sure, but there's also an element to the Matrix to all of this. I hate the term red pill now, how it's been co-opted, but the red pill, blue pill idea, they were all in the Matrix before Jasmine's blood kicked them out. And that moment of grief Neo has when he's talking to Morpheus and says, I can't go back, can I? That movie is the same sort of existential thesis, waking up to the reality of what life actually is and letting go of delusion. And yet, what's his name? The bald guy in the movie chooses to he's the Connor in that story. Cypher. He attempts to have himself reinserted.
He does.
Because the ignorance is bliss. That's the arc that they're doing here the entire way. And you can look at Cypher and totally understand why he did that. That was a little missing from Connor's part of this as the Cypher of this story.
So, speaking of Connor, I mean, you already mentioned he talks to Jasmine. She kind of is like, she gets a little stern with him. He starts off. He gets the info from the guys in the garden, who I meant to look them up, but I forgot to. Both of them looked very familiar. But Connor goes to a church. I do like the sign. I need to say something positive. I like the way they make the outside look bleak. Like, it looks like The Walking Dead outside of this church for some reason. And I kind of like the idea that now churches are just fully like, no one gives a shit. No one goes to them because Jasmine. And we get that sign that says God is nowhere. Jasmine is the way, which I don't know. That worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah. We found the true one.
Yeah.
Let go of all the others.
Well, it's also them framing, especially as you go in and you see Cordelia, like kind of as a Virgin Mary.
Yes. Absolutely.
Of it all, draped. She's beautifully draped.
Yeah, the visual of that was cool, albeit weird.
Yeah.
But then they do give Connor like a monologue, which is so weird.
Yeah.
I didn't remember any of this, and I was like, what the fuck? I feel like this is the
Honestly,
longest.
I tuned out. Well, and I was like, oh, he says something. But I was like, okay, it was Connor.
Well, I unfortunately didn't, and it made me hate him even more.
Yeah.
Everything he said fucking pissed me off, because we learned that he didn't. Not only did he saw Jasmine, he knew what she was, But he even explicitly says, "Oh, I never believed her." And like, you dipshit, you spend all this time stalking all of them, acting like they were evil, and you knew. Like, for me, that's the most damning thing that this character has ever like admitted to, because like he was trying to kill Fred, Gunn, Lorne, Wes, and Angel out of devotion to Jasmine, which didn't even exist. So it's not like, oh well, he was being controlled. It's like, no, he decided, yeah, this is better. And that,
and now that you go through that, I think that we can compare this to a lot of other people, in our world right now, in our,
especially in our families,
other
Alastair.
spheres. Yeah. So.
It reminds me a little bit of the hunter from the Firefly movie. There's a wonderful line in that movie where he says he's fighting, he's doing all these horrible acts for peace. Nathan Fillion responds to him. He says, "It's not a world that I'm going to get to live in," but he's at least fighting for something, and perceives Nathan as fighting for chaos.
Yeah,
and that's or Mal as fighting for chaos in that story. But again, a more interesting version of these ideas. Connor, I just keep coming back to Connor's a bunch of interesting undeveloped ideas, which is sort of season 4. It's his season, so
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just like, I was so mad and I did not remember any of that. Like I think I've watched these episodes once, maybe twice. And yeah, I didn't remember that at all. Like I did remember him, that he could see what she was, but I assumed it was like, oh, well, he's still in her thrall. It's just she doesn't have to fake it with him, because, he says it to Fred, like, well, I'm from a hell dimension. It's like, yeah, so maybe like a grotesque monster face isn't really going to upset him. But yeah, man, did that fucking piss me off. Jasmine, now we're gonna do our Jasmine bit. She's eaten half that chamber. She goofily is like, yum. Like, she like rubs her belly as she's coming back in, and says she's ready. The guys who
at least she appreciated her meal. It's better than her being like, yuck,
True, if you're gonna eat me, then like say it tasted good rather than when we have our yellow jackets moment, Alastair and you and Zach are like cutting up my like forearm. I want you both to say, this tastes good.
Well, I'd rather, if I knew I was in that situation, I'd be like, hey, Jasmine, could you have me as a snack instead of a meal? That would make me feel better. Just a little snack.
She's like, God, I'm sure she would love that. So she goes to do her live broadcast. The reporters are all there. It's packed. And in teleports Angel. And this, again, as you mentioned, Ian, the Jasmine of it all does start to fall apart here. I don't hate where we go, but like the like metaphor, it just kind, because she's like, everyone kill him, and then it's just like, I do think it falls apart a little bit here. So I'm curious.
They don't do really anything. He just holds a severed head around, and I was like, that would. I'm surprised that they weren't actually tackling him at that time. It should have been them tackling him and him like,
yes,
really trying to get that open,
Yeah. Well, they seem to distinguish too between her ability to marionette people directly requires sort of a spell state, as opposed to just everyone loves her and listens to what she says, but are still the same bumbling human beings they always were.
Her powers aren't well thought out.
Yeah, that was my perception in that scene, where she wasn't marionetting anyone. It was just a moment of panic.
Then he cuts open the mouth. It whispers her name. And this is again where I'm a little unsure, because like, I get that like she's projecting the image of Gina Torres, right? She actually looks like the maggot mouth monster. I'm a little unclear if just like they get scared when they see that, or like I don't quite understand the correlation from the blind devotion just because she's like pretty to like, oh, well, when she's not pretty.
I forgot about that.
I don't think it's because I don't think it's just because she's pretty. I think it breaks like the overall spell.
Right.
It's just like a little unclear.
And I think it lets you visually see that, obviously, because we're not under the spell.
Right.
We just think Taurus is pretty, right? But like it breaks the overall spell on everybody that's going on.
I guess it's like a way of letting the audience know as well. Like that is the like line. But like then when she comes back, I'm like, but she just has a little bit of like what
yeah,
looks like
I kind of
Well, she
wish.
glamours herself a little bit.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't like the what is essentially what zombie Jasmine
Yeah.
makeup that they do on her. I sort of wish they'd just done the maggot puppet for the rest of the bit and just have her in voiceover doing the whole thing, because it would have been a little 80s creep show and a little more horrifying. It just seems like, for lack of a better term, uncourageous. Like there was no zombie version of her. Why does she look like this now? But the true nature of her that we saw the entire time was this. Other than
Right.
we have Gina Torres, we can't have a puppet with a hole in its face and a bunch of bugs walking around.
Yeah.
Which also I feel like raises a question: if Cordy had gone all in with the powers that be, would she have turned into like this
Right.
maggot person? Also, I
Well,
don't know, or like something adjacent.
so I was trying to look up the timeline because the off-screen stuff is now notorious around this
Right.
season. And it really, I mean, I'd rather not, rather stay positive and not go too deep in the weeds with that stuff. But this Cordy's particular arc here just paints it is so ugly and horrible. But the original, according to an interview with Tim Minear, the original plan was for Cordy to be the big bad this season. And then they found out about her pregnancy over the summer or right after they came back. And that was when the pivots started. And there was a showrunner, David Greenwald ended his showrun in season 3. They had a new showrunner for the summer. And then he quit for creative differences at the end of the summer. And that's when the actual showrunner for season 4 took over. So a whole lot of mess.
Ooh, that is a mess.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I knew about everything before the showrunner changing.
But I don't think I'm. It implies that the retcon was less of a retcon than we would actually feel like. They were definitely setting Cordy up for something. Skip's retcon in that episode.
And I knew that, especially with them setting her up as a fighter and her going. Yeah, obviously there's supposed to be a big storyline, Cordy-centric storyline, season 4.
Yeah. But what I was checking was, did they know that at the end of season 3? And according to that interview with Tim, they did not.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm gonna say is like the Skip rewrite really bothers me because that for me, Skip felt like such a good Buffyverse character. He looks demonic, evil, devilly, whatever, but is just like, hey, let's eat some snacks. Like that is like a perfect Buffyverse character, and I don't like the rewrite that all of it was a trick. He was evil. He worked for whatever the bad gods were.
Well, it's so bad because even from just the standpoint of the themes are about choice. Like this, even just the Jasmine arc is about choice and identity, and choice is worth suffering for, right? But the Skip retcon totally undermines everything that we've seen up to that point as being manipulated by Jasmine. So none of the characters' choices mattered. Nothing meant anything because it was all manipulated beforehand. It's so bad for that just that reason by itself, other than the fact that Roy is terrific. That actor is wonderful.
It makes them seem like chumps too. Like it really does. Because like Angel, like you said, the entire thing of the show is like, what do you choose?
Choice and fight for today and recovering alcoholic one day at a time.
In the episode you and I love, if nothing that we do matters, then all that matters is what we do. And like that is undermined by this. Like because no, it didn't matter what they did because it all played into this. Anyway, Jasmine now is like got her like zombie light makeup. We are suddenly like apocalypse. And I was thinking about I get that it's like it's kind of chaos, but the like desolate looking like streets don't quite, and it's like an immediate thing, don't quite line up for me. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like people can riot pretty quick, especially when their idea of reality just like, they're like, you know what? I want a VCR right now.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think her thrall had at least extended to most of LA. and they're all experiencing the grief and madness that Fred and Angel experienced when things cleared up. And some people respond with despair, and other people respond with riots. So I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't get the sense that that was apocalypse level globally,
Yeah.
so much as it was just Los Angeles.
LA, yeah.
Yeah.
She's kind of just wandering around. I also didn't understand why she was wandering around, but I do kind of like the one guy that's like, "You bitch," and like throws a bottle at Jasmine. And it's like, all right, sure. I mean, she was
honestly, I was thinking that was rather rude. She's trying to be nice. She's out there being like, no, nothing has to change. And
All I wanted was your freedom.
to eat you.
well, and even Angel feels pity towards her too. But while they're talking, she like tries to contextualize the decision that they made for everybody else. And he's like, yes, but I made that decision. Yeah, you made that decision for everybody, not just for yourself.
Right.
You know?
And like Jamie Girac, who was on for, I think, 2 episodes ago, like kept referencing Pluribus and saying, "Oh, this is a lot like the show Pluribus." And I do agree. I don't know if either of you watched it. I love Pluribus. That's like the whole thing in that show where it's like almost like a zombie virus spreads, but it creates the Jasmine euphoria in everybody. But everyone's like a hive mind, but everyone's euphoric and happy. So like, is that? I had a student tell me, "I don't know, that sounds like a really good deal. I would do it." And I was like, "Oh my god, no."
Well, I mean, at its roots, that's sort of the nature of addiction.
Fair.
Why you drink, why you do drugs, whatever the thing may be, is escape.
Is the euphoria of it all?
Escaping
it's also
the nature.
A show on HBO.
I really thought you were going to say the Jacob Elordi of it all is what I actually thought. It's like, I was expecting an Alastair pun.
Oh, Jacob Elordi? No.
Just to reference Euphoria.
But it does present an interesting like question in terms of, because I mean people suffer every day. I mean, some people deal with it better. Some people like are only alive in their own suffering, right? They don't really know how to be happy, Connor. And
I thought you were going to say Ian.
No, but like I don't know. It presents an interesting. I think Jasmine does present an interesting question, which has been asked before. The big issue is, I don't see the big issue being the 1,000 people dying every year, versus more than that dying. I think the big issue is choice, right? So if everybody was able to make that individual choice whether to follow Jasmine or not, I think that would make.
Well, I mean, to me, that's why I wish that they hadn't gone so hard on the monstrous nature of it all. Because it would have been much more interesting to just sort of stick with choice and freedom as the loss. But it is what it is. This whole arc reminds me very much of the storytelling they were doing in Buffy season 2 before Surprise and Innocence. Like we said, bad eggs and all of that. It's like this familiar horror trope set up to explore, a theme for these characters, but one that's been done to death. We have the Groundhog Day bit and all of that. It's so funny how TV can just repeat storylines and tropes from other things, and we just go, okay.
So we get her and Angel on the overpass here, and so again, this is where I think a lot of it falls apart, because I like the idea of like, after all this, they're just having a conversation. Like, I almost wish we'd gotten something more here.
100%. I don't need every episode to end in a fist fight.
Right? Like,
yeah.
It's cool seeing her lift the car. I'm not going to lie. It is cool.
Or a car fight.
I loved it. I was like, yeah, Gina Torres, kick his ass. I was mad for her. I was on her side in this. I was like, yeah.
Well, again, it just loses any of the subtlety of the themes they were exploring. It's like, oh, absolutely, 100%, she's totally evil.
Right.
Well, but I mean, she is a higher power, and he really messed with her mojo, and I think that she has a right as a higher power being woman to kick his ass. And maybe, Yeah.
That I agree with, but specifically, she's saying she's going to now destroy the world because Angel didn't let her eat people and make everyone feel happy and joyful.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, I didn't need that.
Which is like sometimes when I'm hungry, I also say things I don't mean.
Alastair gonna devil's advocate us to death, Ian.
The one thing I did get vibes of here is I forgot that Angel asks her to join the team. Help you can't make the choice for everyone, but you could join us and make the world better for people individually. And I got major Illyria vibes from that. I don't know if Illyria was in the works at this point, and maybe to keep a depowered god on hand for season 5 was an original idea that they had. But it's interesting that parallel was kind of already there.
Well, I do think a lot of times in the Buffyverse, something was a predecessor to the big big thing.
The genesis of the original idea.
Yeah, and I could see it being like, wait a minute, we should have used that idea. Let's do that next season with, someone else. Yeah. But I do wish there had been a little bit more to the talk, because to your point, Ian, I kind of would have liked if she was just like, I don't know, maybe she's like, I'm gonna leave this plane because it didn't work. You fucked everything up. I just wanted to do good. And she still is thinking she's doing good, because it feels like once she says, well, now I'm gonna destroy the world, well, then she doesn't think she's doing like.
It would have been interesting if she had made Connor kill her. Yes. Because she didn't want to be there anymore, and that would have helped his arc a little bit, I think, in him having to kill his own daughter by her request, and that tipping him into the whole thing. Just something a little less mustache twirly nefarious.
But I agree with you, Alastair. I do like seeing her throw the car. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, Gia Torres lifted up the car.
I like seeing her throw the car, but we're also talking about like Connor in the context of it all right now, and we know like really it's only Connor and Cordy that can damage her, right? But Cordelia is still in a coma. We don't know what's really wrong with her, and it begs the question that Jasmine would know what was wrong with her and what would know what might be able to like get her well. And it just upsets me that we just killed her off so quickly before asking those obvious questions.
That's another way into that moment is, can you heal Cordelia? And she says to Connor, no, but you can kill me. And that is what he believes removes the spell. But then he's been forced to kill his own daughter in the story. To me, that strengthens up the whole structure.
Yeah. And also, so as you just said a few times, Ian, that is his daughter. Connor shows up, and I don't even understand what we're doing when she kisses him. When he's like, see you in hell, and she's like, you first, and then she kisses him. And like, why?
So campy.
So, like, this is not this villain. Like, what?
I think they really wanted to play into the Cordelia and then Connor being Angel's son, and I guess Jasmine being Angel's granddaughter of it all, kind of a thing.
Well,
and so then, sort of Oedipal stuff again.
But to keep the Oedipal circle of knives, Connor sees them kissing, and I wrote down this dialogue because this is fucking insane. Always the same, Dad. I get a girl and you gotta play for her, and I put in all caps, isn't she your daughter, you dipshit? Like,
yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, oh, she's mine, my daughter. But like, God. So yeah, I think they should have been like, at this point, we're going full villain. She's gonna kiss him to eat him. Like, that's part of her powers are lowered. I don't know, but it just was too goofy, and also a little
weird. It was a weird decision, yeah.
And also, it's a little anticlimactic that he just kind of is like boop through her head. I kind of.
Well, this is first of all, Angel sort of lives in the anticlimax. Yeah. This is also the season of pivots. We built up the Beast. The Beast literally destroyed the best big bad this show has ever had in Wolfram and Hart. And then Angelus just stabs it in the back. And why? Because he's that happens several times in this season of just, and we're done. Let's try something else.
And that's what it felt like. It felt like, oh, we're done with the storyline. We're done with the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, in fairness, Buffy has done that as well. I just think that it does it with a little more style.
Yes.
When the Anointed One, no one liked the Anointed One, and Spike is sort of the audience proxy when he throws the Anointed One in the cage. In the episode where Drew has just said, "This one has power," and is like continuing to build up the legend of the Anointed. Spike literally is like, we're done with this story, and off we go on to the next one. So it's not unique to Angel, but Angel did it a lot this season.
Connor leaves. Angel goes back to the hotel. I do appreciate that beats before this, they open the door and they're like, oh my God. And you think it's because of what's going on outside, but Angel arrives at the hotel. He's afraid for Connor. He's ranting to them. And I really like him saying, I'm afraid he might do something. He might. And then Lila fucking Morgan saying, End world peace. You already took care of that. Congratulations. I do think that is such a good, like, pin to end on because Lila is such a good villain.
She's the best.
And, like, feeling her presence immediately, like, ups the energy where it's like, oh, okay. Because, like, Lila was around for Bleach shit too, right? Like, she was, but, like, I don't know. It was fun to watch her. Like,
the villains need charisma.
Yeah.
They it's that balance of there's got to be joy, even if it's the villains are the ones with joy. Lindsay had fun.
Yeah.
Until he didn't. The mayor loves being the mayor. Glory loves being Glory.
Yes.
And the Beast is just incredible makeup.
Look great, beautiful gowns.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, just less interesting. And if all of the good guys are already depressed and down, and we don't even have a fun villain, that's sort of where we ended up. So yeah, Lila feels like a breath of fresh air.
And I'll always say that Lila should have been. I don't even remember the girl's name in Angel season 3 that was supposed to be the between Eve. That should have been Lila. Like, you have her right there. You could have used her. And I really liked season 5. I think that would have made season 5 even that much more tied
Alastair,
together.
It's funny because I have those same complaints with season 5 where I'm like, if we had Cordelia, if we had Lila, but it still is my favorite season of Angel, but it just would have been made so much better with them.
Well, I don't think Eve ever gave anything to the storyline for me, at least. She's forgettable.
She is. She's like very flat as a character. That poor actor doesn't get much to do. Like, it's just kind of like she comes in, says a few lines. They all don't like her. And
gives them an apple.
Yeah, like she just doesn't have the, like you said, Ian, she does not have the charisma that Lila has. And Lila has a very specific charisma where it's like Lila kind of is like Catwoman, but like as a lawyer for demons. Like, I don't know. She's very good. And I've become friends with Stephanie since we like recorded together. And like just the other night I was talking to her and I forget what she said, but I said, you just did Lila voice with me. And she was like, oh, did I? And I was like, yeah, you did. And she has said that like Lila is a part of herself. Like, she thinks that Lila is her channeling all of her like whatever, like she's like, yeah, I do think of like I can get Lila when I want to, and I feel like it's like that character is in there somewhere, so that like helps it feel more like natural coming out of her. But yeah, I forgot that we ended with Lila. I thought we only see her next episode. I forgot that it was like the kicker at the end, and it was a nice little kicker.
It was a nice little surprise at the end of the episode.
Yeah. All right, so some little bit of trivia is Gunn says when he's kicking open the jail cell in the basement, never give up, never surrender, which is from Galaxy Quest, which is so weird. Lorne mentions Night of the Comet when describing the deserted hotel. Joss Whedon has cited this film as one of his influences for the creation of Buffy. There is a character that is, have either of you ever seen that movie? It's like a 80s B like horror Armageddon movie. It's like a very popular B movie. Like, it is not serious. It is campy as hell. And one of the main characters in it is a cheerleader who survived this Armageddon, and she has like I think like a machine gun or something. And oh god, I can't remember her name. The actress who played that cheerleader, and Kelly Maroney, we are like social media friends. I almost got her to read Buffy's monologue from Chosen. And she was like, oh, do you know that I was an inspiration. And I was like, yes, that's why I'm asking you. She was like, oh, not a lot of people know that. But then she like did not have time to do it when it came down to the deadline. But she is so nice and she was going to do it. And I really wish I had gotten her since she helped influence Buffy. But that's my like little nothing story of something almost happened that was cool. This connects it a little better. The events of this episode occur at approximately the same time Buffy and her allies are preparing to fight the first evil. By this time, few are left in town and there's no electricity to watch TV, so no one in there would be under the influence of Jasmine. That makes a little, because I kept thinking like, okay, but like, doesn't Sunnydale know? But I forgot they do lose like all electricity.
Yeah, they're having an apocalypse of their own.
Yeah. Favorite outfit, Alastair?
You know, I was gonna say Jasmine's outfit, especially I think that she looks the most stunning when she's arguing with Angel when you have the lights behind her.
Okay.
And with the crazy makeup and everything, I think it's a stunning look. But I'm going to go with Lila.
That's a good one.
Same. I put Lila. We don't even see her whole look, but she looks great. Her hair looks great.
But she has the thing covered her neck. And
Yep.
like,
We love styling around your death wound. Ian?
I kind of liked Wesley in the cabana shirt.
All right.
Because it's so contrary to where his personality is right now. You know, cabana shirt says I'm here to party, and Wesley is not that character, and he's not in that place. So I just appreciated the visual contrast. I thought it was funny.
All
also,
right.
I kind of miss that early 2000s fashion.
Favorite scene, Ian?
I know what she looks like. She's beautiful.
All right. Alastair?
I would say like her entire speech at the Hyperion Hotel. Just because like she goes into it and she's like, oh, it's all about, you know, love and loving each other, and then, what can we do for you, Jasmine? And she's like, oh no, nothing much, you know, just love each other. And also I just really like a really big temple. And you know, like you kind of see her, you know, it's not all about that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think for me it's a tie between, and they're just two little blips of scenes. Jasmine getting her face punched out because I fucking hate Jasmine so much. And and Lila popping up at the end because it's so good to see Lila again. What grade do we give this episode, Alastair?
Without just watching it as part of the whole Jasmine arc, I'd say just a flat B.
All right. Actually, you bring up a good question. What grade do you give the Jasmine arc as a whole then?
Me?
Yeah.
I'd probably give it an A minus.
All right. Huh. Ian, same question. This episode and then the arc.
Like I said, there's grading on a curve within season 4, and then
Fair.
there's sort of grading within Angel as a whole. I mean, this episode is a B in season 4. Within, if we're factoring in Angel season 2 and Angel season 5, you know, it's a C to me, and I feel that way about the arc as well. Is it just is so, like we were talking about, the themes switch gears and the plot switches gears so many times. This arc is focused, it's clear, it knows what it's about, it knows what they're there to do, and then it does it and it gets out. The pieces moving episode is the next one, not this one.
I give this episode a C. I think I've given 2 Fs for this arc. I think this might be I think I gave Magic Bullet a C+. So I think if we're averaging my grades I've given, it might be C- D+ for this. I fucking hate this arc for all the reasons you said, Ian, because you give it you give it more grace because you're nicer, because you're like, I can see what they're trying to do. It little falls apart here. And for me, I'm like, fucking falls apart. They didn't accomplish what they were trying to do. F, I hate it. So yeah, I think overall, like maybe C-, I guess, just to be a little nicer. But it's just like, it's so drab, and so much of this season, after Faith leaves, I feel like you can feel the rewrites the heaviest. because
I think
like
you can feel them the whole season, but
that.
yeah,
But like the Cordelia, there are 2 episodes of just them doing nothing, and Cordelia is pregnant. That is the plot of the 2 episodes after Faith leaves. And like it really feels
Connor
like
standing in a room.
we do the Connor Cordelia, well, you have to protect me. Well, Angel's trying to kill us. Conversation 800 times across those 2 episodes. And then with this, when we get last episode with the kids in or the gang in the sewer, and it's like, what are we doing? And it often feels like they're circling the drain to fill in space. So I've said this a bunch of times. I think I've said this every Jasmine episode arc. Buffy is a good example of why we get nostalgic for 22 episode seasons. I think Angel season 4 is a good case for no, not every show needs to be 22 episode seasons, because sometimes they fill in stuff with like nothing.
Yeah, but then Angel season 5 brings the argument back up again. I don't disagree with you.
Alastair.
And it feels like they were already planning Angel season 5 during that phase, and they just didn't care about anything else. They're like, we just need to film it and get it done, and then we're gonna have Connor off. We're gonna do all that stuff. Honestly, after this episode, I was like, because episode 22 always felt like a 15-minute scene to me, and not as an episode.
Yeah,
I have to go back and watch it after this, but like I was like, oh wait, because this is kind of the final episode, and then the next episode just sets the stage for
it's like a soft
season.
reboot. Yeah,
this is the finale. The next episode is all right. Let's move all the pieces into place for what we want to do in season 5.
What we actually want to do,
yeah.
After this mess of a season.
I think you're right, Alastair. It does kind of feel like that because it feels like they really knew it feels like here's where they did know where they want, right? Like they did know what they wanted to do.
The other thing I think happened in season 4 and began in season 3 is Angel got too archy. One of the reasons people say they miss the 22 episode season are the one-offs. Band Candy, the Zeppo, Homecoming, these individual identity shows that move the arc an inch but develop the characters a bunch. And I think what is almost universally considered the best episode of Angel season 4, Spin the Bottle.
In the bottle, yeah.
It's the one episodic episode of the season where like we mind wipe everyone and we get to do whatever we want for an individual story while still exploring themes and moving the arc an inch. And I think if you're going to go pure arc for 22 episodes, like prestige TV style, you have to have a bulletproof, clear idea of where everything is going. And I don't think that this archy identity works for this kind of season. And season 5 goes back to, what do we remember? Not Fade Away, Damage, like the individual Smile Time, the individual great one-off episodes. Yeah, episodes have identity again. And midway through season 3 into season 4, if someone says a name of an episode from those Angel seasons, I'm like, which one is Happiest Corpses? Is that the...
I have trouble. I've had a lot of trouble, and starting in season 3, doing images for these episodes because they're all just like one blob. Yeah, and it really does make it difficult to do some of the images. That's why sometimes my favorite images come out of those episodes where I'm like, wow, I hate that fucking episode, but I like because I just go like, well, I could do whatever because it doesn't fucking matter. And I just
Buffy is never as arcy as I think that maybe the archiest season of Buffy is season 4.
5? Oh, I was like 5. Yeah,
I was going to say 5. I mean, like it all though. It's good art. There's a difference between like
Buffy always did it well as a thing. Yes.
Yes.
But maybe they wouldn't have had to change the direction of the arc 3 times if they had breather episodes and one-off episodes in this season, as opposed to we can't just have the freaking demon or the destroyer or whatever the hell he's called standing around in that awkward makeup for 20 episodes. All right, let's kill him off and try something different.
We're Spin the Bottle with Jasmine.
Yeah.
but it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting to explore the Jasmine character a little bit more. I know you don't like her, Ian, but I really like Gina Torres as Jasmine.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great actress.
I think she brought a lot to it. Yeah.
I like that it's focused. I think that a little bit
That's
of
fair.
subtlety and character exploration could have gone a long way with it.
That's fair. All right. Well, thank you both for joining me. Thank you all for listening. If you like Slayerfest 98, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can watch our video recordings because all our episodes are video recordings on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, give us a good rating, helps get the podcast out there. If you want to support us, we are on Patreon going through every episode of Buffy as it turns 25. We are in the last stretch of season 5. We also have episodes on X-Men the Animated Series, Batman the Animated Series, just started a book club probably a month prior to this with Heated Rivalry, and we have hangouts, watch-alongs, and a bunch of other stuff, and a Discord. Any and all support's much appreciated. If you want to follow us on social, we're at SlayerFestX98. If you want to follow me, I'm at IanXCarlos. Ian, where can everyone find you?
I am youtube.com/passion of the nerd, and the channel has been on hiatus for a little while. It'll be back this year sometime. I'm working on a major side project that we'll talk about later.
And Alastair?
You can find me at Alastair J. Patton on all socials. I'm also on the AZB YouTube channel and AZB Plus Patreon channel, where I run the Hello Gentle Viewers book club, and we're covering Hail Mary this month.
I was thinking of
March.
listening to that.
Yeah.
I might check that out. All right. Well, we will see you next time. Bye.